The Galactic Mockery. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, countless civilizations had risen and fallen, each leaving their mark on the tapestry of galactic history. Among these, the Galactic Confederation stood as a beacon of advanced technology and interstellar cooperation. Comprised of over 1,000 species from across the galaxy, the Confederation prided itself on its scientific achievements, diplomatic prowess, and military might. At the heart of the Confederation lay the Grand Assembly, a colossal space station orbiting a neutron star. Here, representatives from member worlds gathered to discuss matters of galactic importance, share knowledge, and occasionally mock those they deemed inferior. On this particular day, the assembly hall buzzed with excitement. A new species had been discovered on the fringes of the galaxy, inhabiting a small blue planet they called Earth. The Confederation's initial scans had revealed a primitive civilization, barely capable of leaving their own atmosphere. High Counselor Zixnera, a towering figure with iridescent scales and multifaceted eyes, called the session to order. Esteemed colleagues, the Arcturian's voice boomed through the hall. We have gathered today to discuss the recent discovery of a new sentient species in the Sol system. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing images of Earth's cities, vehicles, and rudimentary spacecraft. Murmurs of amusement rippled through the audience. As you can see, Zixnera continued, these humans, as they call themselves, have only recently discovered the principles of powered flight. Their most advanced spacecraft are crude chemical rockets, barely capable of reaching their own moon. Laughter erupted from various corners of the hall. Ambassador Krell of the Regelian Empire, a being composed entirely of crystalline structures, chimed in. Look at their pitiful attempts at space exploration. I've seen more advanced technology in our children's toys. More laughter followed, accompanied by holographic projections of Earth's early space missions. The sight of bulky spacesuits and primitive satellites elicited further mockery from the assembled dignitaries. Indeed, Ambassador Krell, Zixnera replied with a smirk. It seems these humans are several millennia behind even our most underdeveloped member worlds. They still rely on fossil fuels for energy, and their medical science is in its infancy. The Saurian representative, General Thrak, a reptilian being with gleaming cybernetic enhancements, leaned forward. High Counselor, surely you don't suggest we waste resources on monitoring such a backward species. They pose no threat to the Confederation. Zixnera raised a hand to quiet the murmurs of agreement. While it's true that the humans are technologically inferior, our charter requires us to observe all sentient species. We will maintain a minimal presence in the Sol system, but I agree that no further action is necessary at this time. As the discussion continued, none of the assembled aliens noticed the small, nondescript drone hovering in a corner of the hall. Its advanced cloaking technology, far beyond anything the Confederation possessed, rendered it invisible to their sensors. Miles away, in a hidden chamber deep within the Grand Assembly Station, a lone figure sat hunched over a bank of monitors. Captain Sarah Chen of Earth's Interstellar Intelligence Division watched the proceedings with a mixture of amusement and concern. They really have no idea, she muttered to herself, shaking her head. Sarah tapped a few commands on her holographic interface, sending an encrypted burst transmission back to Earth Command. The message was brief. Operation Cosmic Veil still effective. Confederation remains unaware of true human capabilities. Recommend continued covert observation. As Sarah prepared to end her surveillance shift, a proximity alert flashed on one of her screens. She quickly checked the readings and smiled. Right on schedule, the Artemis, Earth's most advanced stealth cruiser, was approaching the station for her extraction. Sarah began shutting down her equipment, erasing all traces of her presence. As she worked, she couldn't help but reflect on the irony of the situation. The very aliens who mocked humanity's supposed technological inferiority were utterly blind to the human operatives moving freely among them. For decades, Earth had maintained the illusion of a primitive civilization, all while making incredible advancements in secret. Faster than light travel, zero-point energy, and gravity manipulation were just a few of the technologies humanity had mastered. The reasons for this deception were complex. Earth's leaders, having observed the often contentious nature of galactic politics, had decided that humanity's best interests lay in remaining unnoticed for as long as possible. They would enter the galactic stage on their own terms when the time was right. As Sarah boarded the Artemis, nodding to her fellow operatives, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity, despite being relatively young compared to many galactic civilizations, had achieved so much in secret. The day would come when the galaxy would learn the truth about Earth, but for now, the greatest strength of humanity lay in being underestimated. The Artemis disengaged from the Grand Assembly Station, its advanced stealth systems ensuring no trace of its presence would be detected. As the ship accelerated away, preparing for its faster-than-light jump back to the Sol system, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Let them laugh, she thought. The joke's on them. They have no idea what's coming. Little did Sarah know that events were already in motion that would force humanity's hand sooner than anyone had anticipated. The galaxy was about to learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate the inhabitants of that small blue planet called Earth. Earth's secret advancements. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility unknown to most of humanity, the true face of Earth's technological prowess lay hidden. The Global Advanced Research and Development Complex, or GARD, sprawled through miles of underground caverns, each level dedicated to pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and capability. Dr. Ilara Patel, Chief Science Officer of GARD, strode purposefully through the holographic design lab. Around her, teams of scientists and engineers worked tirelessly on projects that would seem like magic to most of the world's population. Status update on Project Helios, Ilara commanded, her voice activating the lab's eye assistant. A shimmering hologram materialized before her, displaying complex schematics and data streams. Project Helios is proceeding ahead of schedule, Dr. Patel, the AI responded. The prototype zero-point energy reactor is now operating at 87% efficiency, a 3% increase from last week's trials. Ilara nodded, a smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. If the Confederation could see this, she mused, they might not be so quick to dismiss humanity. As she continued her rounds, Ilara's comm device chimed. Dr. Patel, your presence is requested in the war room, came the voice of General Marcus Santos, Earth Defense Force Commander. Moments later, Ilara entered the war room, a state-of-the-art command center that served as the nerve center for Earth's hidden defenses. General Santos, a stern-faced man with graying hair, stood before a massive holographic display of the solar system. Dr. Santos greeted her, his expression grim. We've received a priority transmission from Captain Chen at the Grand Assembly. It seems our timetable may need to be accelerated. With a gesture, Santos brought up the decoded message. Ilara's eyes widened as she read the contents. A Zarnaxian battle fleet. Here. But why? Santos' jaw tightened. According to our intelligence, the Zarnaxians have been looking to expand their territory. It seems they've set their sights on our solar system, likely believing it to be an easy conquest given our perceived level of technology. Ilara's mind raced, considering the implications. The Zarnaxians were known throughout the galaxy as a warlike species, constantly seeking to expand their empire through conquest. If they were coming to Earth, how long do we have? She asked, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Captain Chen estimates the fleet will arrive within 3 standard months, Santos replied. Not as much time as we hoped for, but it'll have to do. Doctor, I need you to accelerate all defense-related projects. We may need every advantage we can get. Ilara nodded, her mind already formulating plans and prioritizing projects. I'll have my teams working around the clock, General. We'll be ready. As Ilara left the war room, her comm device buzzed with priority alerts to her department heads. The next few months would be crucial. Humanity had hoped to reveal itself to the galaxy on its own terms, but fate, it seemed, had other plans. In the following weeks, GARD became a hive of frenzied activity. Project Helios, the zero-point energy reactor, was fast-tracked for integration into Earth's hidden fleet of advanced starships. The Aegis program, focused on developing next-generation defensive systems, shifted into overdrive. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, head of the Weapons Research Division, made a breakthrough in plasma cannon technology that increased its destructive potential tenfold. The new cannons were quickly slated for production and installation on Earth's defense platforms. In the biotech labs, Dr. Alejandro Ruiz and his team put the finishing touches on the Lazarus Protocol, a revolutionary medical technology that could heal even most grievous wounds in a matter of minutes. If war was coming, this could save countless lives. As the deadline approached, Earth's hidden strength grew. Stealth satellites were deployed throughout the solar system, creating an early warning network far beyond anything the Zarnaxians would expect. The Luna base, concealed on the far side of the moon, was fully activated, its hangars filled with squadrons of advanced fighter craft. On the surface, life continued as normal. The vast majority of Earth's population remained blissfully unaware of the monumental events unfolding beneath their feet and high above their heads. World leaders, briefed on the situation, maintained a facade of normalcy while quietly preparing their nations for the possibility of revelation and conflict. 2 weeks before the estimated arrival of the Zarnaxian fleet, Ilara found herself standing before the United Earth Council, the secret governing body that had overseen humanity's hidden advancements for decades. "Distinguished counselors," she began, her voice echoing in the underground chamber, "I am pleased to report that our preparations are complete. Earth's defenses are fully operational, and our fleet stands ready." Council President Adebayo leaned forward, his eyes intense. "And you're certain, Dr. Patel, that our technology is a match for the Zarnaxians?" Ilara allowed herself a confident smile. "More than a match, Mr. President. In many areas, we've surpassed even the most advanced Confederation technologies. The Zarnaxians are in for quite a surprise." As the council members murmured among themselves, Ilara couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and apprehension. Humanity had accomplished so much in secret, driven by the knowledge that they weren't alone in the universe. Now that secrecy was about to be shattered. In orbit high above Earth, the crews of humanity's hidden fleet ran final diagnostics and combat drills. Sleek, dark ships with lines that seemed to bend light around them hung silently in space, their advanced stealth systems rendering them invisible to all but the most sensitive scanners. Aboard the flagship Horizon, Fleet Admiral Kira Chen, Sarah's mother, stood on the bridge, gazing at the blue marble of Earth below. "Status report," she commanded. Her XO, Commander David Okafor, responded crisply. "All systems nominal. Admiral, the fleet is at full combat readiness. Luna Base reports all squadrons on standby. Earth defense grid is powered up and awaiting your command." Admiral Chen nodded, her expression resolute. "Very good, Commander. Now we wait." As the hours ticked by, tension mounted throughout Earth's hidden defense network. In GARD, in the stealth satellites scattered throughout the solar system, in the ships of the fleet, humans stood ready to defend their home. They had laughed at Earth, dismissing humanity as primitive and weak. Soon, the galaxy would learn just how wrong they had been. Humanity had used the gift of anonymity to prepare, to advance, to become something far greater than anyone suspected. The Zarnaxians were coming, expecting an easy conquest. Instead, they would face the full, unleashed potential of humanity. Earth, dismissed for so long as a backwater, was about to show the galaxy exactly what humans were capable of. As the estimated time of arrival approached, a tense silence fell over Earth's defenders. In GARD, in the fleet, in hidden bases around the world, humans waited, ready to fight for their home and their future. The stage was set. Humanity's moment of revelation was at hand. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The Zarnaxian invasion. The silence of space was shattered as a massive interdimensional rift tore open at the edge of the solar system. Through this swirling vortex of energy, the Zarnaxian battle fleet emerged, a terrifying armada of sleek, predatory vessels bristling with weaponry. At the head of the fleet, the Zarnaxian flagship Worldbreaker dwarfed its escorts. On its bridge, High Admiral Krovac, a towering figure with chitinous armor and multiple arms, surveyed the holographic display of the solar system with cold, compound eyes. "Status report," Krovac demanded, his mandibles clicking in anticipation. Sub-Commander's Extra, a smaller, more agile Zarnaxian, responded promptly. "High Admiral, long-range scans confirm the presence of a habitable planet in the third orbit. Primitive communication signals and artificial satellites detected. No sign of significant defensive capabilities." Krovac's mandibles curved in what passed for a smile among his species. "Excellent. These humans will make a fine addition to the Empire. Prepare the invasion force. I want boots on the ground within one planetary rotation." As the Zarnaxian fleet began its inexorable advance towards Earth, alarms blared in hidden command centers across the planet and throughout the solar system. In GARD, Dr. Ilara Patel rushed into the war room, where General Santos was already coordinating with Admiral Chen via holographic link. "They're here," Santos said grimly as Ilara entered. "Earlier than expected, but we're ready." Admiral Chen's hologram nodded. "The fleet is in position. Cloaking systems engage. Earth defense grid is powered up and awaiting your command, General." Santos turned to Ilara. "Doctor, is Project Aegis operational?" Ilara allowed herself a small smile. "Fully operational, General. The planetary shield is ready for activation on your order." "Good," Santos replied. "We'll wait until they're committed to the attack. Let them think they've caught us unprepared." As the Zarnaxian fleet approached Mars, High Admiral Krovac grew increasingly puzzled. "Sub-Commander, why have we encountered no resistance? Surely they must have detected our approach by now." Zextra's antennae twitched nervously. "Our scans show no signs of a defensive fleet or orbital platforms, High Admiral. It appears the humans are as primitive as our initial intelligence suggested." Krovac's eyes narrowed. Perhaps they are simply hiding. No matter. Prepare the first wave of dropships. Let us test their defenses. As the Zarnaxian fleet entered high Earth orbit, dropships began to detach from the larger vessels, descending towards major population centers. In New York, London, Beijing, and other cities around the world, people looked up in shock and fear as the alien craft appeared in the skies. In the White House Situation Room, the President of the United States sat surrounded by his advisors, watching the events unfold on multiple screens. "Is it time?" he asked, his voice tense. The Secretary of Defense nodded grimly. "Yes, Mr. President. General Santos is awaiting your authorization to activate our defenses." The President took a deep breath, the weight of history heavy on his shoulders. "Very well. Give the order. It's time to show the galaxy who we really are." In GARD, General Santos received the presidential authorization. With a nod to Dr. Patel, he gave the command that would change Earth's destiny forever. "Activate Project Aegis. Bring the fleet online. It's time to defend our home." High above the planet, Admiral Kira Chen's voice rang out across the hidden fleet. "All ships, disengage cloaking systems. Weapons hot. Prepare to engage the enemy." As the Zarnaxian dropships began their final descent towards Earth's surface, the impossible happened. A shimmering energy field suddenly sprang into existence, enveloping the entire planet. The dropships slammed into this unexpected barrier, exploding in brilliant flashes of light. On the bridge of the Worldbreaker, alarms blared as sensors detected a massive energy surge. High Admiral Krovac watched in disbelief as hundreds of advanced warships seemed to materialize out of nowhere, their sleek designs unlike anything he had ever seen. "Impossible!" Krovac roared, his mandibles clicking furiously. Where did these ships come from? How did we not detect them? Before Sub-Commanders Extra could respond, a transmission cut through their communications channels. Admiral Chen's face appeared on their main view screen, her expression calm but resolute. "Attention, Zarnaxian fleet. This is Admiral Kira Chen of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered restricted space and demonstrated hostile intent against our planet. We demand your immediate surrender and withdrawal from the Sol system." For a moment, stunned silence reigned on the Worldbreaker's bridge. Then, Krovak's shock gave way to rage. "You dare to demand our surrender? We are the Zarnaxian Empire. We do not yield to primitive species." Chen's expression didn't change. "Very well. You've made your choice. May whatever gods you believe in have mercy on you, because we won't." The transmission cut off, and all hell broke loose. The Earth fleet sprang into action with a coordination and precision that belied their supposed primitive nature. Advanced energy weapons lanced out, tearing through Zarnaxian shields as if they were tissue paper. Swarms of fighter craft, launched from the Luna base, engaged the enemy's own fighters in a deadly dance among the stars. On the Worldbreaker, Krovak barked orders frantically, trying to rally his forces against this unexpected threat. "Return fire. Launch all fighters. We will crush these upstart humans." But as the battle raged on, it became clear that the Zarnaxians were outmatched. Earth's ships moved with impossible speed and agility, their advanced AI systems predicting and countering every Zarnaxian maneuver. Their weapons, powered by zero-point energy reactors, unleashed devastating barrages that the Zarnaxian shields couldn't hope to withstand. In GARD, Dr. Ilara Patel monitored the battle from the war room, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and fear. "The Helios reactors are performing beyond expectations," she reported to General Santos. "Our ships are maintaining full power output with no signs of strain." Santos nodded, his eyes fixed on the strategic display. "Excellent. And the Aegis shield?" "Holding strong," Ilara confirmed. "The Zarnaxians haven't even managed to scratch it." As the battle raged in orbit, the people of Earth watched in awe and terror. News broadcasts showed glimpses of the space battle, visible even from the ground as flashes of light in the night sky. Governments around the world began emergency broadcasts, revealing the truth about humanity's hidden advancements and the existence of alien life. In New York's Times Square, in London's Piccadilly Circus, in Beijing's Tiananmen Square, massive screens displayed the ongoing battle. People stood transfixed, their world forever changed as they witnessed humanity's true power unleashed against an alien threat. Back in space, the tide of battle had decisively turned. The Zarnaxian fleet, once so confident in their superiority, was being systematically dismantled. Their ships, burning and broken, littered the space around Earth. On the Worldbreaker, now heavily damaged and venting atmosphere from multiple hull breaches, High Admiral Krovak faced the unthinkable. "Prepare for emergency dimensional jump," he ordered, his voice hollow with defeat. We must retreat." As the remnants of the Zarnaxian fleet fled through hastily opened dimensional rifts, cheers erupted throughout the Earth fleet and in command centers across the planet. Humanity had faced its first true extraterrestrial threat and emerged victorious. Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile before opening a channel to her fleet. "Well done, everyone. But stay alert. This battle is won, but the war may just be beginning." In GARD, General Santos turned to Dr. Patel, his expression a mixture of relief and determination. "We've revealed ourselves to the galaxy now, Doctor. There's no going back." Ilara nodded, her mind already racing with the implications. "No, there isn't. But we've proven that we're ready. Whatever comes next, humanity will face it head-on." As the Earth fleet began recovery operations, collecting debris for study and rescuing survivors from disabled Zarnaxian ships, news of the battle spread like wildfire across the galaxy. In the Grand Assembly of the Galactic Confederation, The once dismissive alien representatives watched in shock as footage of the battle played out before them. High Counselor Zixnera, his iridescent scales pale with disbelief, turned to his fellow council members. "It seems," he said slowly, "that we have greatly underestimated the humans." As the implications of this revelation rippled through the galactic community, one thing became abundantly clear. The species that had once been laughed at and dismissed was now a force to be reckoned with. The age of human isolation was over. Earth was ready to take its place among the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity's shocking counterattack. In the days following the Zarnaxian attack, Earth buzzed with a mixture of excitement, fear, and determination. The veil of secrecy had been lifted, and humanity was coming to terms with its new reality as a recognized galactic power. At GARD, Dr. Ilara Patel found herself working around the clock, analyzing data from the battle, and coordinating with scientific teams around the world. The quantum computers hummed as they processed vast amounts of information gleaned from the Zarnaxian wreckage. "Dr. Patel," her AI assistant chimed, "I've completed the analysis of the Zarnaxian dimensional drive technology." Ilara's eyes widened as she reviewed the findings. "This is incredible. Their faster-than-light technology is fundamentally different from ours. If we can integrate this with our existing systems—" Her thoughts were interrupted by a priority alert. General Santos's face appeared on her comm screen, his expression grim. "Doctor, we need you in the war room immediately. We've received new intelligence from our deep cover agents in Zarnaxian space." Minutes later, Ilara joined a tense gathering of Earth's top military and scientific leaders. Admiral Chen's hologram flickered in the center of the room, her usually calm demeanor showing signs of stress. "The Zarnaxians aren't giving up," Chen reported. "Our agents have confirmed that High Admiral Krovac is rallying a much larger fleet. They're calling in ships from across their empire for a full-scale invasion of the Sol system." The room erupted in concerned murmurs. General Santos raised a hand for silence. "How long do we have, Admiral?" "Best estimate is 2 weeks," Chen replied. "They're gathering at a staging area in the Proxima Centauri system." President Adebayo, who had joined the meeting via secure link, spoke up. "Can our defenses withstand an attack of that magnitude?" Dr. Patel stepped forward. "Mr. President, while our technology is advanced, a prolonged siege against a much larger force could eventually overwhelm us. However," she paused, a glint of excitement in her eyes, "I believe we have an opportunity here." All eyes turned to her as she continued. "The Zarnaxian dimensional drive technology we've recovered could be the key. With some modifications, we could use it to launch a preemptive strike directly at their staging area." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. It was Admiral Chen who broke the silence. "A counterattack, directly into enemy territory. It's bold, Doctor, but extremely risky." General Santos nodded thoughtfully. "Bold, yes, but it might be our best option, if we can catch them off guard before they're fully assembled." President Adebayo's voice was steady as he made his decision. "Very well. Dr. Patel, you have full authorization to proceed with this plan. General, Admiral, prepare your forces. We're taking the fight to the Zarnaxians." The next 2 weeks were a whirlwind of activity. At GARD and other research facilities around the world, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to integrate the Zarnaxian dimensional drive technology into Earth's fleet. The advanced AI systems proved invaluable, running countless simulations to optimize the new hybrid drives. In orbit, the Earth Defense Force underwent intensive training, preparing for the unprecedented mission ahead. New tactical doctrines were developed, incorporating the element of surprise that the dimensional jump would provide. As the deadline approached, tension mounted. The fate of Earth, perhaps of humanity itself, would be decided by the coming battle. The night before the planned attack, Dr. Patel found herself unable to sleep. She stood in GARD's observation deck, gazing up at the stars. The weight of responsibility was palpable, So much depended on the technology she and her team had developed. "Trouble sleeping, Doctor." General Santos's voice came from behind her. Ilara turned, offering a weak smile. "Just pre-mission jitters, I suppose." "You?" Santos joined her at the window. "Same, but I have faith in our people, in the work you've done. We're as ready as we'll ever be." As dawn broke over Earth, the counterattack fleet assembled in high orbit. At its heart was the EDF Prometheus, Earth's most advanced warship, specially modified with the new hybrid dimensional drive. Admiral Chen stood on its bridge, surveying her fleet with a mixture of pride and apprehension. "All ships report ready, Admiral," her XO announced. Chen nodded, taking a deep breath. "Very well. Initiate dimensional jump sequence. Take us to Proxima Centauri." In a flash of brilliant energy, the Earth fleet vanished from the Sol system. Moments later, they reappeared at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system, catching the assembling Zarnaxian armada completely by surprise. On the bridge of the World Breaker, High Admiral Krovak's compound eyes widened in shock. "Impossible. How did they find us? How did they get here?" Before the Zarnaxians could react, the Earth fleet unleashed a devastating first strike. Advanced energy weapons and smart missiles tore through the unprepared Zarnaxian ships. Fighter squadrons swarmed out, engaging their counterparts with a combination of AI-driven tactics and human ingenuity that left the enemy reeling. "Press the attack," Admiral Chen commanded. "Don't let them regroup." The battle raged across the Proxima Centauri system. Earth ships, their hybrid drives allowing for split-second dimensional jumps, seemed to appear and disappear at will, striking from unexpected angles and vanishing before the Zarnaxians could effectively return fire. On the World Breaker, now bearing the scars of multiple hits, Krovak fought to rally his forces. "Stand your ground. We are Zarnaxians. We do not yield." But the tide of battle had turned decisively against them. Earth's surprise attack had shattered the Zarnaxian fleet's cohesion, and individual ship captains were beginning to flee, opening dimensional rifts to escape the onslaught. As the battle entered its final stages, Admiral Chen opened a channel to the Worldbreaker. "High Admiral Krovak, your fleet is in ruins. Surrender now, and we will spare the lives of your remaining crew." Humanity's shocking counterattack. Krovak, his once proud form now battered and slouching, stared at the human admiral's image on his view screen. For a moment, pride and centuries of Zarnaxian military tradition warred with the reality of his situation. Finally, with a defeated slump of his shoulders, he responded. We surrender, Admiral Chen. The Zarnaxian Empire yields to Earth." A collective cheer erupted across the Earth fleet as the news of the Zarnaxian surrender spread. Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile before issuing her next orders. "All ships, cease fire. Prepare boarding parties to secure enemy vessels. Medical teams stand by to assist wounded on both sides." As Earth forces began the process of securing the remnants of the Zarnaxian fleet, Admiral Chen turned to her communications officer. "Send a message to Earth. The Zarnaxian threat has been neutralized. We are victorious." Back on Earth, the news of the victory was met with jubilation. In cities around the world, people poured into the streets, celebrating humanity's triumph over an alien threat that, just weeks ago, most didn't even know existed. In GARD's command center, Dr. Ilara Patel watched the incoming data streams with a mixture of relief and awe. The hybrid dimensional drive had performed beyond their most optimistic projections, giving Earth's fleet an insurmountable advantage. "We did it," she breathed, turning to General Santos with tears of joy in her eyes. The general nodded, a rare smile crossing his usually stern features. "We did, Doctor. Your team's work was instrumental in this victory. Humanity owes you a great debt." As the initial euphoria of victory began to fade, the enormity of what had transpired started to sink in. Humanity had not only repelled an alien invasion, but had taken the fight to the enemy and emerged triumphant. The implications were staggering. In the following days, as the Earth fleet began its return journey with their Zarnaxian prisoners, the United Earth Council convened an emergency session to discuss the path forward. President Adebayo addressed the assembled leaders, his voice solemn yet filled with pride. My fellow citizens of Earth, we stand at a crossroads in human history. We have revealed ourselves to the galaxy and proven our strength. Now, we must decide how to move forward in this new era. The council chamber buzzed with discussion. Some advocated for aggressive expansion, arguing that Earth should use its technological advantage to carve out a place of dominance in the galaxy. Others called for caution, warning against the dangers of overreach. Dr. Patel, invited to speak as a scientific advisor, offered her perspective. "We have an opportunity here," she began, her voice clear and passionate. "An opportunity not just to secure our place in the galaxy, but to become a force for positive change. Our technology, our unity in the face of threat, these are strengths we can use to build bridges rather than walls." Her words resonated with many in the chamber. The debate continued for hours, but eventually the consensus began to emerge. Earth would step onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as peacekeepers and innovators. The decision was made to send diplomatic envoys to the Galactic Confederation, seeking formal recognition and offering Earth's unique insights and technologies to benefit the galactic community. As news of this decision spread, reactions across Earth were mixed. Many celebrated the prospect of peaceful integration into the larger galactic society. Others worried about the potential risks of opening Earth to extraterrestrial influence. In orbit, as the Earth fleet returned with their Zarnaxian prisoners, Admiral Chen received the Council's decision. She pondered the future as she gazed at the blue marble of Earth below. The coming years would undoubtedly bring challenges, but also unprecedented opportunities for growth and discovery. On the Prometheus's bridge, she turned to her crew. "Send a message to all ships," she commanded. "We're going home, but our journey is just beginning." As the fleet began its final approach to Earth, news of their imminent arrival spread quickly. In every major city, people gathered to watch the skies, eager for a glimpse of the ships and heroes that had defended their world. The sight of the Earth fleet, accompanied by captured Zarnaxian vessels, streaking across the sky in formation, was a moment that would be etched into the collective memory of humanity for generations to come. As the ships descended towards their designated landing zones, a new chapter in human history began to unfold. Earth had faced its first great extraterrestrial challenge and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. The species that had once been mocked and dismissed by the galactic community had proven itself a force to be reckoned with. The laughter had stopped. The galaxy now looked to Earth with a mixture of respect, curiosity, and perhaps a touch of fear. Humanity was ready to take its place among the stars, and nothing would ever be the same again. A new era for Earth. In the months following the Zarnaxian conflict, Earth underwent a profound transformation. The world that had once been divided by national borders and old rivalries now found itself united in the face of a much larger cosmic perspective. The United Earth Council, once a secret organization, now stood as the open governing body for humanity's interstellar affairs. Its headquarters, a gleaming tower in the heart of a new international district built in what was once disputed territory, symbolized the new era of global cooperation. Dr. Ilara Patel found herself at the center of this transformation. As the newly appointed Director of Extraterrestrial Sciences, she led the effort to integrate recovered Zarnaxian technology with Earth's own advanced systems. The results were nothing short of revolutionary. One morning, as she prepared for another day of groundbreaking research, her AI assistant chimed with a priority message. "Dr. Patel, your presence is requested at the council chambers immediately. The Galactic Confederation delegation has arrived." Ilara's heart raced as she made her way to the council building. This meeting could determine humanity's place in the galactic community for generations to come. As she entered the grand chamber, she was struck by the diverse array of alien forms gathered there. Representatives from dozens of species, each unique and fascinating, filled the room. At the center stood High Counselor Zixnera, the Arcturian who had once dismissed humanity as primitive. President Adebayo opened the proceedings, his voice steady and confident. Distinguished representatives of the Galactic Confederation, on behalf of the people of Earth, I bid you welcome. We gather here today to forge a new chapter in galactic history. Zixnera stepped forward, his iridescent scales shimmering in the chamber's light. President Adebayo, esteemed members of the United Earth Council, we come here today with humility and admiration. The galaxy has witnessed the strength and ingenuity of humanity, and we recognize that our previous assessment of your species was profoundly mistaken. A murmur rippled through the chamber as Zixnera continued. We extend an invitation to Earth to join the Galactic Confederation as a full member, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. The offer hung in the air, heavy with potential. It was everything Earth had hoped for, a seat at the table of galactic civilization. Yet, there was hesitation. Admiral Chen, standing near the Earth delegation, spoke up. High Counselor, while we appreciate the offer, recent events have shown us that the current structure of the Confederation may be lacking. The ease with which the Zarnaxians were able to launch their invasion suggests a need for reform. Zixnera's compound eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of surprise in his species. What do you propose, Admiral? It was Dr. Patil who answered, stepping forward with a datapad in hand. If I may, High Counselor, we've prepared a proposal for a new initiative within the Confederation, the Joint Task Force, combining the unique strengths of various member species, dedicated to peacekeeping and scientific advancement. As Ilara outlined the proposal, using holographic displays to illustrate key points, the alien representatives leaned forward with growing interest. The plan called for the sharing of technologies, the establishment of a rapid response fleet to address threats like the Zarnaxians, and a massive cooperative effort to explore the unknown regions of the galaxy. Furthermore, Ilara continued, her voice growing passionate, we propose the establishment of a Galactic Academy of Sciences, where the brightest minds from all member species can come together to tackle the greatest challenges facing our universe. The chamber erupted in excited discussion. Many of the alien representatives were visibly intrigued by the bold proposals. Even Zixnera seemed impressed. These are ambitious plans, the High Counselor said, his tone thoughtful. They would require significant changes to the way the Confederation operates. President Adebayo stepped forward. Change, High Counselor, is precisely what we're offering. Earth doesn't merely wish to join the galactic community. We want to help lead it into a new era of cooperation and discovery. The negotiations continued for days, with heated debates and passionate arguments from all sides. But as the discussions progressed, a new vision for the future of the galaxy began to take shape. In the end, a historic agreement was reached. Earth would join the Galactic Confederation, but as part of a sweeping reform that would reshape the organization from within. The Joint Peacekeeping Fleet would be established, with Admiral Chen appointed as its first commander. The Galactic Academy of Sciences would be built, with Dr. Patil serving as one of its founding directors. As news of the agreement spread across Earth and throughout the galaxy, a sense of hope and excitement took hold. The species that had once been laughed at had not only proven its worth, but had become a catalyst for positive change on a cosmic scale. In the years that followed, the galaxy entered a new golden age of exploration and discovery. Earth ships, now joined by vessels from dozens of alien allies, pushed out into the unknown regions of space. The hybrid technologies born from the crucible of the Zarnaxian conflict opened up new possibilities in faster-than-light travel, energy production, and terraforming. The Galactic Academy of Sciences became a beacon of knowledge, attracting brilliant minds from across the cosmos. Breakthroughs in medicine, physics, and a dozen other fields followed in rapid succession, improving the lives of trillions across the galaxy. And yet, despite all the progress and accolades, humanity never forgot the lessons of its past. The memory of being underestimated, of being mocked, served as a constant reminder to remain humble, to always strive for improvement, and to never judge others by appearances alone. As Earth celebrated the 10th anniversary of its entrance onto the galactic stage, Dr. Ilara Patel stood on the observation deck of the Galactic Academy's space station, gazing out at the star-filled expanse. Beside her stood Zixnera, now a close friend and colleague. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" the Arcturian asked, his tone wondering. Ilara smiled, shaking her head. "Never in my wildest dreams. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The universe is full of surprises. All we can do is face them with courage, intelligence, and an open mind." As they watched, a fleet of ships from a dozen different species streaked past the station, embarking on a new mission of exploration. Among them was the latest Earth vessel, its sleek design a testament to how far humanity had come. They had been laughed at once, dismissed as primitive and weak. But humanity had proven that the greatest strength lies not in technology or military might, but in the indomitable spirit of a species united in the face of adversity. And in doing so, they had changed not just their own destiny, but that of the entire galaxy. The laughter had stopped long ago. Now, the galaxy looked to Earth and humanity with respect, admiration, and the shared hope for a brighter future among the stars.